therapist, and I'm also a certified mediator.
And I'm Lindsey Kearns, the mama behind MalibuMamaLoves.com, and I'm also a conscious, trauma-informed life coach. And today we wanted to continue on with our story. We've been talking about cheating the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And so we have gotten to the point where we are in jail now.
Yes.
And we're having jailhouse therapy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really important to say DV, which stands for domestic violence, of which I didn't know what that meant. And I guess that is a felony. I didn't know what that meant either. But anyways, so.
Well, and I think that, that's part of why we're sharing this story is because there are so many misconceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you a quick little background on this, she had suspected.
Yes.
I couldn't get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You had suspected your husband of having an affair.
Mm-hmm.
So he had started walking the dog late at night, which was out of character.
Working out, bought the new BMW, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. You had followed him one night and overheard him on the phone. So it confirmed to you with another woman that he was making plans with for that weekend. And, I love you. I can't wait to
Going
see
to
you.
New York, blah, blah, blah.
Thing happening. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's just earth-shattering. When you find that information out, and your sympathetic nervous system,
and you don't even know. It's like
completely.
You don't even know what
you're doing.
And
that's a lot of what we talk about on the show is how our body reacts, and you had a chemical reaction that was not
major.
If you were in control of yourself, if you hadn't just been completely traumatized. You would not have had the following course of events, right? But a lot of us,
if I could think it out, I would have done differently. I would have just shut the door and locked him out.
Right.
In the
so
cold.
Instead, you jump up, you confront him, you guys get physical with each other, the police get involved.
I cover up for him, and I go to jail. So we left off where I was cowering in the corner, but I had told them that I beat up my husband, so they seemed to accept me.
And about how many women were in there?
Oh, like 30, and probably like...
And the men and women were separate, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. There was no men. That would have been even scarier. I'm sorry, men. That would have been scarier for me.
It's a scary situation in itself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have been scary. I don't know. But it was probably like 150 square feet with 30 people. Is that possible? Wow. So we were packed in like sardines. So once I said I beat up my husband and I was a marriage and family therapist, they seemed to kind of accept me. I started to talk to one girl. I said, "Oh, what are you in here for?" And she goes, "Oh, I got pulled over and they said that I had stolen a car, but my boyfriend had given me the car and I just had birth 3 days ago and I missed my baby and I'm nursing the baby and I need to nurse the baby. I need to give it milk." And she was lactating, like you could see it through her shirt. Yeah. So I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh dear. So, and then I talked to some other people. I befriended a really nice gang member. She seemed to be really, nice. And she took care of me and protected me. Even though she was little, she was a fighter. You could tell. So she did protect me for the evening. So thank goodness. At this point,
Was there anybody fighting in there, or were they mean to each other?
Yeah, there were people they're almost like groups already. But I guess that there it's not as bad, and then when you get into prison, it's like the white go with the white, the black go with the black, the Hispanics go with the Hispanics, the Asians
I heard
go with
that
the
out
Asians.
Here in California. I never knew this, but I know somebody else that had been arrested in the Valley, and they said that the jail there, when you first go in,
jail,
when you first go in, they separate you by race.
Not when you first go in.
The one in the Valley. This wasn't Ventura.
Really?
Yeah. In Van Nuys or something.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's
but
probably because you're going to get killed.
Yeah, but they said that because they get a lot of gang members, so they keep everybody separated.
Well,
that's why I was asking in Ventura, but it sounds like it's more just male-female.
Yeah, well, I liked my, my gang member friend. And so, but no, when you go to prison, that's when, if you don't join, because I've learned a lot about this, if you don't join your race, which is, horrid, I'd have to be with the white skinheads. If you don't join them, you are left for prey. You're very susceptible to bad things.
So you're in jail. You're defending these people.
I'm in jail. I'm feeling badly for these people. But
where's your mentality at? Are you still thinking you're going to tennis in the morning?
Yeah. Because there's no concept of time. There's fluorescent lights that never go off, and mind you, fluorescent lights give me a lot of anxiety. And I was
they do for everyone. They're really bad.
They're really bad for you. That's why they probably put them on. And I was manic. Am I bipolar? No, it was my sympathetic nervous system and the cortisol and the adrenaline. I was just totally out of it. And so I thought, how am I going to get out of here? Because, like, I have no idea what time it is, but it could be like 11 or almost 12. And, like, I need to get my sleep. You know what I mean? So I called my dad. I don't know why he didn't answer because he always answers, but he didn't. I called, and you can only, there's one phone and you have to call collect. And so then I called my mom. She didn't answer. That wasn't a big surprise. Then I called my aunt, and she didn't answer. Also a big surprise because she stays up all night long. Then I called my sister who's on the East Coast. I waited to call her last because I felt badly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's like 11 or 12 o'clock at night here, that's
then it's
like
2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I called her, and like somebody picked up the phone and hung up on me again. So then I called again, and nobody answered. And then I was like, I'm going to call a third time. Well, what she told me later is that after the second call, she sat up in bed like this and was like, it's Katie. It's Katie.
Because sometimes you just know.
I don't know how she knew.
Because you have that, like I do it with my kids sometimes, or with my parents, I'll just know.
Like if you're really,
wrong, I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah,
and
if you're really close,
always a phone call will come in and something will have.
Yeah. If you're really
happened.
close, I think you can almost like pick up on it. Anyway, she's like, Katie. When I called the third time, and I was like, yeah, and she's like, what is going on? And I go, oh, I'm in jail. She's like, why are you in jail? And I go, well, I said that I beat up my ex-husband, and I go, I left out the part where he choked me and he almost killed me, and I covered up for him, and now I'm in jail because they said after the O.J. Simpson case, they have to take one person.
Well, that and your ex was
saying
that
he
you
was
had
saying
done all of
that
this
I'd done
and
everything.
had gone extreme.
Yeah, but I didn't know
he
that.
He wasn't protecting you at all.
No, he was throwing me under the bus, and I'm as loyal can be. I'm like, my sister says I'm like a pit bull. Anyways, in a nice way. So, and then all of a sudden there was a flush. Okay, like I said, it was like 150 square feet. That's small.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like 110 square feet. It was like the size of my office,
yeah.
Whatever. And there was a flush. And my sister goes, what is that? And I said, oh, that's a toilet. And she's like, the toilet? And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, oh, there's like this metal partition. And I said, and behind it, you can go to the bathroom. She's like, so somebody's using the toilet right now? And I go, oh, yeah. And she's like, and I go, don't worry, I'm not going to use it. Because I had peeked around, and it was icky. Like, I just thought, I'm not drinking or eating anything. I would rather urinate in my pants. You know what I mean? So there was also a metal bed, if you want to call it that, some metal
bench,
yes. And on it was a person that was asleep on their stomach, and all you could see was their G-string underwear hanging out of their pants. And everybody was like, oh, just leave her. She's a heroin addict. So I was like, oh, well, at least she's getting through the night, unlike the rest of us, and at least she's sleeping. You know what I mean? She kind of had a one-up on the rest of us. So because of the fluorescent lights, it's really hard to sleep, but I was exhausted, and I thought I gotta get ready for my tennis match. I still think I'm going to the tennis match.
Yeah.
So I fall asleep perpendicular to the bed, if you want to call it, or the bench. So I'm now under like halfway under the bench because I needed some like darkness to fall asleep. Of course, I was afraid there was like a mouse or rat, and I'm terrified of anything that's mouse or rat like. But I just prayed. Yes, thank you. So, although I think possums are kind of cute. Anyway, so I had just started to fall asleep because there was darkness under the bench, and I just started to fall asleep, and the heroin addict, I guess she turned and she fell on me. And, she's was a little bit bigger of a woman, and I do feel like I still have lower back issues as a problem. It's been 7 years. I've been seeing a chiropractor, but and so that woke me up, and I just said to myself, heck, I mean, I guess I'm not sleeping. You know what I mean? So at this point, I don't even know. I think it'd been a few hours. I don't even know. I have no idea, no concept of time. But let's say like another 2 hours, and all of a sudden they pass food like through this.
Yeah, through the little.
Just like a little
square that it goes
through.
So
we don't like attack them. But who wanted to attack her? She was scary. The jailhouse rocks. Anyways. So the food comes, and it's like canned peaches. I'm sorry, I don't eat canned. I don't mean to be snobby, but canned peaches are just like not my thing. There was like some canned broccoli, also not my thing, unless you're going to mix it. Maybe you can make some soup. And there was I think like a Spam sandwich, and I'm not really into Spam. Are you?
Mm-mm.
No. My dad has a real thing for Spam sandwiches, but maybe that's being raised during World War II. So I said no, and also I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom, And so I said to the heroin addict, because now she was up, and I said, do you want my food? Because I'm just not very hungry. And she was like, yeah. And so then she was like shoving in the food. I was like, wow, this person's really hungry, And so then I was like, I better call my sister again. Did I say that?
Find out.
Yeah. So I called my sister again, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, get me out of here. She's like, well, Katie, it's a felony. And I said, what's that? And she's like, oh, I'll explain it to you later, but it's a big deal. She's like, it's DV. I go, it's DV. She's like, domestic violence. I go, all I did was push him. Like, what's the big deal? And throw his clothes down the stairs. Like, she's like, because you're the one that said you did everything, you idiot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, Julie, I got to get out of here. I said, I've got a tennis match in the morning. And my sister had been my tennis partner, so she knew that that was important to me. She's like, Katie, you're not playing tennis in the morning. Like, get over it. And I was like, oh. And she's like, okay, well, I've been trying to figure out what to do with the bail situation, but your husband, sorry, not ex-husband, keeps saying that he is posting bail, so I don't know what to do. He keeps saying he's going to do it. And I go, well, I'm still here, so I don't know what to say. And she's like, okay, I'm working on it. She's like, you have to work with like a company. And she's like, it's like $2,500. Maybe it was like $5,000. I have no idea. But my sister had the money. She just didn't, she believed my ex-husband now. And so I don't know what she was doing. But whatever. Okay, so then during the night.
So in that moment when she said, oh, you're not going to tennis, did it just sort of start to hit you like?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I don't know why. But people are, because I had other things to do. I had therapy. I had, to give to people. I was checking out other people's stories. So anyways, during the night, more and more people are added. So we're like sardines, okay, in this packed little sardine box. And my dad also likes sardines, just so you know. So this other homeless woman enters, and she seemed really nice, actually. But she kept calling her homeless boyfriend. They lived in the park, I guess. And I don't know why she was arrested. Oh, she said, sometimes she does drugs. She did kind of look like she was on meth. And I know that because I'm a therapist. But, she seemed happy. Sort of happy. So she kept calling the boyfriend in the park and yelling profanities at him. And then she'd hang up on him. And then I could hear him yelling profanities at her, and then he'd hang up on her. She must have called him 50 times. And after, like, the 50th time, I said, you know what? I don't think this is working for you. Mm-hmm. I said, I think we need to sit down and talk. I said, I think you need to...
My name is Katie Hutchinson, and I'm offering free jailhouse therapy.
Exactly. And I said, you know what? I think you need to stop calling him because he's not being very nice to you, you know what I mean? And I did talk her out of continuing to call him. So that was nice because she was keeping a lot of people awake with the profanities. And anyways, so then at this point, was there anything else that happened to me that was fun in jail? No. So, I'm sorry. During this time, another girl comes in, and she had worked at a high-end boutique, and she had just gotten a DUI. I tried to befriend her because I also liked this high-end boutique. She wasn't having it. She didn't talk to me at all. She was actually very kind of not friendly, mean. But
a mean drunk.
She was a mean drunk. At this point, all of a sudden, something hit me.
Yeah.
It hit me. The adrenaline, the mania, the cortisol, the sympathetic nervous system, everything. It just I just came flooding, and I was like, oh my gosh. My husband is cheating on me. What if he leaves me? I have 3 little kids. Like, my whole life is going to change. I'm not going to be able to play tennis 5 days a week. Like, what am I going to do? So it was like something out of a movie. I leaned against the wall, and I slid down the wall slowly, and I started bawling, crying. Well, the girl with the DUI is just staring at me like this. No expression on her face. And I thought, that's not very nice.
Mean drunk.
I was like, if it were me, I would have been like, are you okay? What can I do for you? Nothing. This person was so nasty to me. She deserved to be in there. If you're watching this, you deserve to be in there because you were not empathetic.
No, she should not be drinking because clearly she's not a good drunk.
She was a wasted drunk.
So I hope you're not drinking anymore.
Yeah, well, who knows? Okay, so anyways, at this point, it's been a couple more hours. And I'm like, I can't. I'm starting to lose it.
Yeah.
So I call my sister again. I'm like, I'm still not out of here, Julie. And she's like, what? She's like, she's like, I'm done. She's like, I'm calling up a company. I go, you have to call a company? She's like, yeah, I'm calling up a company. I give them my credit card, whatever. Then they post bail for you, and then they get you out. And I'm like, okay, I can't I'm starting to lose it. I said, I'm starting to lose it.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I'm taking care of it. I don't believe him anymore. And I go, yeah, he's probably lying. She's like, he's a pathological liar. I go, I know. Yeah. So I go, please, get me out of here. And she's like, okay, I'm working on it right now. So I was like, okay, thank goodness. I don't know what time it was. I mean, maybe it was 9 a.m. or something. But now at this point, I started to go crazy. I went up to the bars and started screaming, get me out of here. I can't take it anymore. Get me out of here. I'm done. I'm done. Well, nobody came to get me.
Nope.
I felt like a cockroach or
they were
something.
Probably laughing at you.
Yeah, I felt like I felt worse than dirt. Worse than a cockroach.
You do. You feel very low. You feel very... Especially, okay, you got this going on in your mind. I'm being cheated on. Mm-hmm. Now they're treating me like garbage.
Trash.
I'm the one that got arrested. No one is seeing what this man is doing and, how he's, because of your reactions and how, right?
Yes,
we're doing.
I should have just locked him out. Why didn't I do that? Because I wasn't thinking.
Well, but this is why we share these stories and we can all learn from them.
Yeah, and nobody came to, no guard or anything. And so I was like.
What time around did you finally get out?
So I didn't get out till probably 1 in the afternoon. And so you go by the place, they're still nasty to you, and they give you back your wallet and your cell phone and whatever. And then you walk. Oh, and I came out with my my gang member friend, and she's like, hey, can you give me a ride home? And I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll figure it out. So we walk out. My mom's on one side, and my husband is on the other side. So I can't stand him, of course, at this point. I mean, I did try to work it out later, but we'll get into that later. But so I can't stand him. So I walked by him, and then I said, oh, wait, can you take home my friend? And then I went to my mom, and I said, Mommy, take me home. So my mom took me home. He took the gang member home, which that was kind of nice of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, and my mom's like, Katie, honey, this is a big deal. And I'm like, what? And she's like, this is a felony. This is a big deal. She's like, how's your blood sugar? I have really bad blood sugar. No, I'm not diabetic, but really extreme blood sugar, low blood sugar attacks. She's like, I brought you some nuts. And I go, oh, thanks, Mom. So I was eating my nuts, whatever. And she's like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to your house? And I go, no. I go, and she's like, do you want to go to my house? And I go, yes, I need to sleep. I've been up all night. I'm tired. So we get home, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed, Mom. And my mom passes me a Xanax. She's like, please take this. Please take this or a sleeping pill. Please just go to bed. And I was like, okay, I'll take anything. And she's like, but first you need to call your therapist. I'm like, why? I have to go to bed. I'm tired. And, when I was in jail, I just have to tell you, I called my 2 tennis partners and said, I don't think I'm going to make it, for the match. Was a very big match to me. Yeah. I just want you to know. So they said, where are you? I said, I'm in jail. Can you not tell anybody? I prefer that nobody knows at the clinic. So just tell my friends, my good friends that won't open their mouth. And so she was like,
you need to reintegrate. You're at your mom's. You're going to sleep.
Right.
You want to call your therapist.
Well, I didn't want to. But I love my therapist, but I wanted to go to bed. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it, Mom. So I called my therapist, and I left a message going, listen, I just got out of jail. Can you call me back? She calls me back right away. She's like, what do you mean you just got out of jail? And I said, oh, well, there's, I said I beat my husband. Up, but actually he did try to kill me. And so I just got out of jail, and I just need to go to bed. She's like, oh, no. And she'd been seeing me, for a very long time. She's like, oh, no. You need to call a bunch of lawyers right now. I said, I'm tired, and I don't know any lawyers. She's like, do it now. This is very serious. This is a felony. And I said, what does that even mean? She's like, you could lose your license to being a marriage and family therapist. You could go to jail. This is really, really serious. You could go to jail for a couple of years. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I thought, no. And
see how it so quickly spirals out of control.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, sorry.
Especially when you're not thinking straight.
Yes, totally. And let me just say one other thing, because then we're going to end. I'll tell you the saga continues. But my sister did report to me later. She said you were about 30 minutes from going to prison, which I guess is a little bit
you if you don't make bail.
Difficult. And she's like, so that would have meant that you were going to be strip searched. You were going to have to bend over and cough. And I said, Hell, no. Yeah. I said, I do not take off my clothes.
Well, thank God that didn't happen. So
yes,
you're
and
home.
I would never bend over and cough. Like,
we're home, and we are now going to start calling lawyers, and we will talk on Wednesday about reintegrating after you've had such a crazy situation like this, and what you do. Yeah, what you do in order to protect yourself. And I have to say, I just want to say one other thing. I have to say that since this situation, it's been like 6 or 7 years now, I don't even know, but I've helped a number of people where it was the same thing that happened, and talked them through it, got them a lawyer, got them therapists, blah, 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 and told them all about what to do in the judicial system. And so, this happens like a lot. More people get cheated on, and then I'm sure a lot of, probably at least half of those go crazy.
Yeah.
It is a deeply painful, traumatic experience.
Yeah. And one girl I met, she really did beat him up, and that was on tape, but she still got off. I was like, you're going to be fine. Like, I'll tell you what to do. So she got off. So anyways.
All right, you guys.
Monday!
And we also want to wish you a happy President's Day. We hope you're having a